ॐ सदाशिवसमारम्भाम् शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्ताम् वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम् ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः ॐ सर्ववेदान्तसिद्धान्तगोचरं तमगोचरं गोविन्दं परमानन्दं सद्गुरुं प्रणतोऽस्म्यहम् Okay, number 43. Bijam samsriti bhumijasyatu tamaha. बीजं संसृति भूमिजस्यतु तमः
बीजं संसृति भूमिजस्य तु तमः
देहात्मधीरङ्कुरः
देहात्मधीरङ्कुरः
रागः पल्लवमम्बुकर्म तु वपुः
रागः पल्लवमम्बुकर्म तु वपुः
स्कन्धोत्सवः शाकिकाः
स्कन्धोत्सवशाकिकाः
अग्राणीन्द्रियसंहतिश्च विषयाः
अग्राणीन्द्रियसंहतिषु च विषयाः
पुष्पाणि दुःखं फलम्
पुष्पाणि दुःखं फलम्
नानाकर्मसमुद्भवं बहुविधम्
नानाकर्मसमुद्भवं बहुविधम्
भोक्तात्र जीवः खगः
भोक्तात्र जीवः खगः
श्रुतिप्रमाणैकमते स्वधर्मनिष्ठा
श्रुतिप्रमाणैकमते स्वधर्मनिष्ठा
तयैवात्मविशुद्धिरस्य
तयैवात्मविशुद्धिरस्य
विशुद्धबुद्धेः परमात्मवेदनम्
विशुद्धबुद्धेः परमात्मवेदनम्
तेनैव संसारसमूलनाशः
तेनैव संसारसमूलनाशः
मुञ्जादिशीकामिव दृश्यवर्गात्
जातिशीकाम् इव दृश्यवर्गात्
प्रत्यञ्चमात्मानमसङ्गमक्रियम्
प्रत्यञ्चमात्मानम् असङ्गमक्रियम्
विविच्य तत्र प्रविलाप्य सर्वम्
विविच्य तत्र प्रविलाप्य सर्वम्
तदात्मना तिष्ठति यः स मुक्तः
तदात्मना तिष्ठति यः स मुक्तः
Yeah. So the student had asked the questions, 7 questions. को नाम बन्धः कथमेष आगतः कथं प्रतिष्ठस्य कथं विमोक्षः kosavanatma paramah ka ātmā tayoh vivekaha kathametadudcyatam. Number 25. And so, so the student has set the stage for the rest of the text. And the guru did not say, no, you forgot to ask this question, that question, like that. There was no such discussion. And anyway, Shankaracharya is writing it. So stage is set. And one after the other, the guru was answering the questions starting from Kaha asau anatma. Kaha asau anatma. What is anatma? Because we live in the world of anatma. Anatma is easier to understand. What is not me is easier to understand. So easiest question is answered first. And even though we say it is easy, the difficult part comes right there. And the difficult part is body is anatma. First revelation is there. I see. I have taken the body to be atma. Shastram says body is anatma. Okay, good start. Good wake up call. Good introduction to Vedanta. And then we saw the details. Anatma itself is divided into Sthula Shariram, Sukshma Shariram, Karana Shariram. Like that, the whole discussion went. And then we are just entering the last question, which happens also to be the seventh question of the student, which is tayoh vivekaha katham etad uchyatam. Tayoh vivekaha. Tayoho. The viveka between those two. Those two means ātmā anātmanoho vivekaha katham etad uchyatam. Tell us how. Now I understand anatma, I understand atma. But this is just an introduction. But introduction cannot suddenly change me. There's a lot more to know. So that lot more to know starts with this shloka. Muñjādiṣīkamiva. Okay, we saw that. We began seeing it last time. Giving that example of this munja grass. So how to carefully remove the pith of this grass. Like that, one has to carefully not remove Atma. Unlike the physical example given, nothing physical is to be done here. There is no physical activity going to be prescribed. It is all a cognitive understanding, intellectual understanding. In fact, understanding only. You can't really preface the word understanding by intellectual understanding, because if there is some other type of understanding, you can say intellectual understanding. Dental understanding, nasal understanding, gastrointestinal understanding. No, understanding is always here in the buddhi. And so, cognitive. This is what we were looking at. And tatra vivicya. The statement we understood was dṛśyavargāt ātmānam vivicya. That is the main sentence. If you want to underline these three words. Ātmānam vivicya. Separating the ātmā from what? Dṛśyavargāt. From the entire universe of perceived objects. Dṛśyavargāt. Whatever you can perceive, you bring it in that category called anatma. So from that, you separate atma. And if you start doing that, you know what you'll find? Body has become anatma. What about mind? Mind is an object of perception. So I cannot be the mind. Then what about all this load of karma? This so-called jivatvam is there. Well, I can't see Karana Shariram, but Karana Shariram is also an object because it is a Shariram. It also grows, it also comes along with me, it also, there is a time it will disappear, won't exist. And therefore, that also is an ātmā. So, like that, carefully, vivicya, same, viveka, same root, vivicya, tatra sarvaṃ pravilāpya. That was the word where we stopped. Sarvaṃ pravilāpya. See, I am not my body. Okay, I am not any of these things that I see. I am not my house, I am not my family, I am not this, everything I know. But I'm still living in this life. Within the family only I'm living. Within the house only I'm living. These are all important entities in my life. Within this body only I'm living. This body is such an intimate entity of myself. I can't just say I am not the body and therefore I can walk away from the body. That is not being recommended. And therefore, this sarvaṃ pravilāpya. This pravilāpanam is an important word. There is no need to walk away from anything. Pravilāpanam means understanding anatma as anatma. Understanding anatma, that dṛśyavarga, as mithyā. Mithyātva niṣķayam kritva. That is the meaning. Mithya, which we have understood to some extent. Understanding anatma as mithyā means what? Understanding anatma as something which cannot have an existence independent of ātmā. That is the meaning of mithyā. See, that's a huge statement. I am different from anatma. That is straightforward compared to this next step. I am different from body. That is very obvious, in fact, after some time. But the body cannot exist independent of ātmā. This is critical. Separating away from the body is easy. And that's why this separate people who say I am consciousness and then they don't study Vedanta beyond that. Okay, they are themselves confused. They confuse others also. You know why? Because I am consciousness. Then what about all the people, all the things? What about my body itself? If you ask, no, that's not ātmā. That's not ātmā. Then how are you going to deal with the body? Then what is the reality of the body? Not understood. The reality of the body is like the reality of this pot. Of this pot. Clay cannot simply walk away from the pot. Okay. The pot says, because the pot has a mind, Pot has a mind. Pot can say, I am clay. Look at this. Pot will say, I am purely clay only. My essence is clay. I am not the pot. I am not the pot. Because a pot is an upadhi, mind is an upadhi, pot is the body is the upadhi. All these are upadhis. Upadhis are essential to engage with this world. Only the pot engages with the world. Clay is sitting quietly. And so, pot can say, pot is told, dṛśyavargāt annamaya vivicya. This pot is dṛśyavarga, annamaya, that is annamā, pot is annamā. Pot is told, your body pot is annamā, your pot belly is annamā. And then you separate yourself from the pot. What should I separate from the pot? Hey, that is Atma, that is the real you. The real you is clay. Is clay. The imperceptible clay. Okay, imperceptible clay, correct? That's how it is. That's how the example must be taken. And so everything else is perceptible. dṛśyavarga. And so you separate vivicya, sarvaṃ pravilāpya. Means what? A, understand that the pot is not another object that is separate from clay. Two objects separate, no big deal. There are so many objects are there right in front of me. This is different from that. That I can say. But that argument won't fly here. Here there is no physical separation between clay and pot. Okay. There is no physical separation. There are no two objects. Then what? Is it one object? Clay and pot, you can't say it is the same object also. Otherwise, you won't have two different words which are not synonymous also. So that means what? That means clay is satyam, pot is mithyā. Clay exists by itself without depending on pot. Pot cannot exist by itself. Its existence depends 100% on clay. That is the meaning here of sarvaṃ pravilāpya. Sarvaṃ pravilāpya. In my understanding of pot, clay has to come. In my understanding of clay, pot need not come. Correct? Pot need not come. Clay is clay, that's all. But if you even to think of a pot, you have to think of some material. Even think I'm talking about. Thinking. Imagine a pot, if I say. How will you imagine pot? Something, some color, so you have to imagine. And then what is there? Some material must be there, no? Some at least akasha material must be there. Something must be there. That something is called material. Without that material, pot cannot even be imagined. That's the idea here. Sarvaṃ pravilāpya. And so then only you can explain the experience of the pot. My human experience can be explained. Otherwise, I will be separate. Ātmā is separate from human experience. All kinds of great experience and traumatic experiences are going on. And I am totally dissociated with everything. Yes, aham asangaha, correct only. But I am still part of the whole also. And so I am the one who sustains the whole. And so experience of pot continues despite pot knowing that I am clay. And so that is critical here. So this mithyātva niṣcayaha sarvaṃ pravilāpya, sarvaṃ dṛśyavargam pravilāpya, tat ātmana tiṣṭhati यः सः मुक्तः tadātmanā tiṣṭhati. ātmana tiṣṭhati. So Swamiji here say adhisthana bhuta pratyagatmana tiṣṭhati. Then that person continues to be the same person. Continues to be the same person. But then ātmana tiṣṭhati. With the vision that I am none other than Ātmā. That ajo nitya shashvatoyam puranaha that Krishna had talked about in the second chapter. That Atma is who I am. Not Jaha. Not the born Atma. Not the born Atma. Swamiji says, who gave birth to you? You should not say, my mother gave birth to me. Hey, my mother gave birth to this body only. He did not give birth to the jiva. Because last janma I had a birth. The same jiva had a birth, another body, and that body had another mother also. So like this, so many mothers this jiva has had. And so here, though, tadātmanā tiṣṭhati, this indestructible ātmā, ātmana, adhisthana bhuta ātmana, means adhisthana means what? Like the clay is the adhishthanam of the pot. Clay always is. Clay is indestructible. So in that form, adhisthana means support. Sometimes they say substrate. I don't like to use the word substrate because substrate is there and something else is put on the substrate. Here there is nothing to be put on the clay. Pot is very much a form of clay. It is not sitting on clay. That's why I don't want to use the word substrate. So support. Pot, clay is the support of pot. Like that. Like that. Tiṣṭhati. Tiṣṭhati means remains. Remains. The jiva now is enlightened. Enlightened to the body. In what manner? Hey, I am not the body, but the body is me. Can the pot say, I am not pot, I am clay? Or clay is not pot, but pot is clay. Clay is not pot. I am clay, which is not pot, but pot I am. Pot I am. Because pot cannot be but me. But I am not pot. That is the beauty. This is called mithyātva niṣcayaha. I sustain the pot. I am not the pot, but I sustain the pot. Like that, Krishna also had talked about. And here, I know intrinsically that this has to be true. What has to be true? That I am not the body. I am something other than the body. That is why I can look at an old photograph and confidently say that is me. When there is no connection between that body and this body. That body is in a pair of shorts and that body is only 2 feet tall and that body does not have a mustache and a beard. This body has. So there is no connection between these two bodies. Somebody cannot figure out this equality. Only I can figure out. Only this man knows that that boy in that photograph is me. How? How is it you? Please tell me. If somebody asks, everybody knows it's obvious. They won't ask it. They won't ask the question how. They'll closely look and say, oh, I can see some similarity. Like that they can say maximum. That means what? That means you're making a statement. I am not body. I am more than the body. That is me and this also is me. I know that. And so even though there are twins at home, okay, the twins look very identical. That is the meaning of a twin anyway. They look identical. But guess what? Despite such an identity, nobody can make out the difference. Ram kaun hai, Sham kaun hai. You can't make out. Ram or Sham, Those days there was a movie, Ram or Sham. So Ram, who is Ram, who is Sham, you can't make out. But the mother can make out. Mother knows who is Ram, who is Sham. There's no need for the mother to look for this identification mark somewhere, etc. Not needed. Mother knows the difference. So there is physical similarity completely apart. Hey, here there is physical dissimilarity in the photographs in the time as time passes. Okay. Balya dishvapi jagrada dishutata. What is the Bhagavad Gita shloka? Yavanam jara tata dehantara praptihi dhiras tatra na muhyati. So that means what? There Krishna was saying, hey, just as the body is constantly changing, that changing body is part of this dṛśyavarga. dṛśyavargāt. Here Krishna is saying, Shankara is saying. And so then saha muktaḥ bhavati. Knowing in this manner, that person becomes a muktaḥ, free, jivan muktaḥ. This is called jivan mukti. Why? Because this karma, etc., now doesn't belong to me anymore. It has always belonged to the jiva, and it continues to belong to the jiva. And I now know that I am not the body, and therefore I am not subject to change at all. I am the ātmā, which is different from the body, and therefore that person becomes a muktaḥ, jivan muktaḥ. Very important concept, idea, a reality for us uh, in Advaita Vedanta. So let's translate this. And so here, Chandrasekhara Mahabharati, Bharati Mahaswamiji says, Prapancha pravilāpanam vivekina kartavyam. Saha sakala vidat bandhat muktaḥ. Brahmatmana samsthitihi atma anatma vivekena atmani samaropitat anatma badhena labdhavya iti. Good. So that pravilāpanam kartavyam, like that he's concluded. That negation of the body as absolute reality. Body is not absolutely real, and I am the one who is absolutely real, and therefore that body has to be negated. The body as me has to be negated and replaced by what? Vision. The vision is that I am Atma, which is independent of the body. The body is anatma, which is dependent on me, the Atma. That is the understanding. So let's look at the meaning of this shloka. He is free who separating the unassociated innermost self, separating the unassociated innermost self. Comma, the subject which is actionless, akriyam, actionless, from the whole host of objects like even separating the inside stalk from the munja grass, like even separating the inside stalk, 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 from the munja grass, and resolving everything there, resolving everything there in that ātmā. Comma, stays or remains within brackets by knowledge, remains by knowledge as that very ātmā. So let me read this. He is free who, separating the unassociated innermost self, the subject which is actionless, from the whole host of objects, as like even separating the inside stalk from the munja grass, and resolving everything there in that ātmā, remains by knowledge as that very ātmā. Okay.
Sorry, I missed one word. After separated and innermost self, there was one word you said. I missed that in the very beginning.
Yeah, separating the unassociated innermost self. Asangam. Unassociated.
Guruji, this is Atyanta Pralaya being described here. Correct. The collapse of everything.
Correct. Correct. Atyanta pralaya. Correct. Good. Next shloka. deho'yamannabhavano'nnamayastu
deho'yamannabhavano'nnamayastu
annamayastu kośaः
annamayastu kośaः
scannena jīvati
scannena jīvati
vinaśyati tadvihīnaḥ
vinaśyati tadvihīnaḥ
त्वक् चर्म मांस रुधिर अस्ति पुरीश राशिः
त्वक् चर्म मांस रुतिरास्ति पुरीशः
पुरीश राशिः
पुरीशराशिः
नायं स्वयं भवितुमर्हति
नायं स्वयं भवितुमर्हति
नित्यशुद्धः.
नित्यशुद्धः.
Yeah. So, we indicated earlier how that katham tayoh vivekah katham. Now the whole topic, the rest of the text is how to distinguish between the ātmā and annātmā. How to manage this. Manage, everything we have to learn to manage everything. So here at least how to understand. Because understanding is everything in Advaita Vedanta. As it was told earlier also. Ajnana yogāt paramatmanastava. Hyanatma bandhas tata eva samsritihi. Tayor vivekodita bodhita vannihi. That knowledge that arises from this ātmā annātmā vivekah. Ajnana karyam pradahet samūlam. the entire effects of ajnanam, which is samsara, will be removed if the ajnanam itself is removed. So that's the essence of Advaita Vedanta. And so here also, that body was talked about now. The previous shloka, body. Shariram, muñjādiṣīkamiva. From this dṛśyavarga, you have to take out. You have to conceptually understand. Conceptually is not a right word. You have to understand that I am ātmā. How can you say it is a concept? It has to do with me. Okay. And so, and that is a general introduction. And now he is talking about this dehaha. Coming back to the body, it's a slow process. Shankaracharya is going to take us, is not going to rush through these things. So that body is described. Why I can't be the body? That is being described in this shloka and subsequent shlokas related to this body. Okay. And see, the idea is this. The body is gross. The body is gross. And we saw it as sthula shariram. Earlier on, Shankara had described the anatma, sthula shariram, then talked about sukshma shariram. Sukshma shariram also is anatma, but I can't appreciate sukshma shariram unless I appreciate sthula shariram. The grosser the thing, the grosser the entity, easier to appreciate, because right there in front of me, okay, I can put a shape to it. Okay, I can give some attributes to it. I can put some weight and color and things like that. Therefore, gross is easy. And what about sukshma shariram, subtle? Subtle entities are always less. By the meaning word subtle, it's very clear. It is not just directly observable. Eyeball is observable, but eyesight is subtle. You can't put a finger on eyesight. Somebody has to say behind, yeah, I'm able to see. Yeah, it is a bit fuzzy. I need to see the doctor. Okay. So that only a person has to be there to see all that. So that is very subtle. So the subtle entity is always what? Shankara had already said that indriyasya no. In
Paranya.
indriyebhya
Indirani
indriye
Paranya.
indriyekyarta param la. What is that? Manasastu para buddhihi yo buddher atma mahan paraha. So he said, in Kathopanishad, compared to the sense objects, the senses are subtler. Sense objects including the body. And then compared to the senses, the mind is subtler. Compared to the mind, the buddhi is subtler. Compared to the buddhi, Hiranyagarbha is subtler. And compared to Hiranyagarbha, Maya is subtler. Compared to Maya, Purusha is the subtler. And compared to Purusha, there is nothing subtler. Purusha means ātmā. Like that he had said there. So there Shankaracharya had already explained. This process, when you say something is paraha, superior, quote unquote, it means three things. It means number one, it's subtler. It is subtler, less gross, let's put it that way. It is number one, less gross. Number two, it is more pervasive, mahantam. More pervasive. Body is limited. Then as you get into the mind, suddenly the mind seems to pervade. Even though the mind is located right here, still it seems to go places. Body cannot go places. Only the mind can go places. It can go places and come back and report also. So mind seems to be more pervasive. Then the buddhi is even more pervasive, even subtler, like that he had said. So subtler, more pervasive, and pratyagatma bhutam. Three things. Pratyagatma bhutam means what? That subtle entity is also of the nature of ātmā. Body is gross and it is not pervasive and it is not of the nature of ātmā. You come further and further through the sense organs, mind and buddhi, and to ātmā. It becomes more subtle, it becomes more pervasive, and it becomes more like ātmā until I hit ātmā, which is ātmā. Okay, this we saw in Kathopanishad. So that is a viveka, that journey. If at all there is a journey, it's not a physical journey. Then what kind of journey it is? It is panchakośa viveka. So this panchakośa viveka is going to come up the rest of the shlokas. Some 10-15 shlokas are there. Panchakośa. Okay. This first kośa is this annamaya kośa. Is going to be talked about here. Okay. Means that we already talked about it. It's a sthula shariram only. But here a different language. Annamaya kośa, pranamaya kośa, manomaya kośa, vijñānamaya kośa, ānandamaya kośa. Like that, the gradation is now more. Previously only 3. Now there is 5. In which, it's not complicated, in which the annamaya kośa is same as sthula shariram. And then Anandamaya Kosha, the last one is the Karana Shariram. Then in between you have 3 koshas, and the 3 koshas correspond to the Sukshma Shariram we studied earlier. Okay. And so that is Pranamaya, Manomaya and Vijñānamaya. Sukshma Shariram divided further into this physiological system Prana and then Manas and Buddhi. That's all it is. But the journey is what? Rejecting, looking at this body and saying, and he is now going to say why I should reject the body, how this deha cannot be me. That is what he is going to talk about in this shloka. Okay, let us take a look at this. Okay. So yeah, it is like the person in our Vedic marriage, Arundhati Darshana Nyayaha. Very beautiful. That is the whole thing. Arundhati Darshana. So this groom is called, hey, look, come. You have to show your wife Arundhati. Arundhati star is out there. Okay. She's close to Vasishtha. And it seems the couple should live a life like the like Arundhati and Vasishtha lived. Okay, they are the like a role model couple for all of us. And so this boy said, come, you show your wife where Arundhati is. This guy is anyway confused. So this is too much for him. But anyway, the Vadyar, the Purohit is there. So this Arundhati star is dull. Dull means to see, not that bright. Among all the bright stars, you can't see it. And so carefully that person has to see that big white star. Ah, yes, I do. Do you see another 2-3 stars below it? Yeah. I see. Okay, count. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Do you see 4 more stars to the north of that? Yeah, I see it. Okay, go look at those stars. Yeah. On top of that, there is Vasishtha. Not Vasishtha, sorry. There is Arundhati. Arundhati. Vasishtha is that, and this is Arundhati. Like that, you are supposed to look at Arundhati star. You cannot directly point to it. That process is this panchakośa viveka. Gross body onwards, all the way to ātmā. Okay. Shaka Chandra Nyayaha. Another Nyaya is being said. Same. Shaka Chandra Nyaya. This boy, you're supposed to show him where is the moon. Moon is not visible today. Today the moon is not visible. It is, I can see it, but it is not obvious. So then you call the fellow, I'll show you where the moon is. Do you see trees in front of you? Yeah, I do see trees. Many trees are there. Do you see the tallest tree? Yeah, the tallest tree is there. From trees, his attention is shifted to the tallest tree. Okay, now slightly more focused. Tallest tree. Okay. Now, are there any, how many trees are there near the tallest tree? Yeah, I can see 3-4 trees are there, which are all separately standing. Very good. Count slowly, count 1, 2, 3, fourth tree. Did you see the fourth tree from the tallest tree? Yes, I can see the fourth tree from the tallest tree. Do you see any branches coming out of this tree? Yeah, I can see some 7-8 branches coming out like this. Okay, keep counting from this right onwards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Stop right there. Stop right there. Did you see the 5th branch of that 4th tree? Yeah, 5th branch. Stop right there. Now carefully look at that branch. Do you see the moon there? I got it. I see it. I see it. Yeah. That is the only way to show this moon. In this sky, which has so many stars, so many bright objects, and so many trees, and the moon is very much there, but it's not clear, then you have to go through this nyaya called Shaka Chandra Nyaya. That means the Chandra is there right on the branch, it seems. And so that is a Shaka Chandra Nyaya. So that is a process that is being followed here also. And so there is some pramanam for all these things. So Taittiriya Upanishad, you can make a note. 2.8.5 2.8.5 अस्माल्लोकात् प्रेत्य एतमन्नमयमात्मानमुपसङ्क्रामति एतं प्राणमयमात्मानमुपसङ्क्रामति. Like this, there's a big list given in Taittiriya Upanishad. And Bhrigurvaivarinihi also, we saw that Bhriguvalli, where the student is made to see, the father is making the son actually, who is the student. Okay, Bhrigu is the student, made to see. Go think about Atma and come. Then Bhrigu says, I got it. Body is Atma. I say, nice try. Good. Go back and think some more. Like that. Then he says, no, body is not Atma. I made a mistake. Prana is Atma. Without prana, we can't survive, So prana must be Atma. Like that. Back and forth. The father leads the student, the son, into discovering this Atma. Anyway, that is the process. And so we have some 16 shlokas in this abbreviated, abridged version that are going to talk about this panchakośa viveka. Beautiful idea it is. Beautiful idea. And so here, dehaha ayam annabhavanaha annamayastu kośaha. Okay. So, ayam dehaha, this body. Okay. Annamayaha tu kośaha. That is the main sentence here. Annamaya. Okay. So these are all technical words. So, Maya, annamaya, born of food. This body is born of food. That's the main idea. Born of food. Maya is not a word. There's no word in Sanskrit called Maya. Maya is there. This is not Maya. This is Maya only. Please don't say Annamaya and all. So Annamaya is different. That is Annamacharya is there. She has written Vedanta songs. Beautiful songs are all there. Okay. But this is neither Annamaya nor it is Annamaya. It is Annamaya. Maya is a suffix in Sanskrit language. It's a suffix. And it means, it has several meanings. Maya. So sometimes Jalamayam is there. Jalamayam. Prachurya, saturation. Saturation. If there is a saturation of something, like during floods, it's all water, water everywhere. Jalamayam. Jalamayam. That is, or when people are burning, like in Coimbatore, they will keep burning periodically. You will go outside, it's all smoke everywhere. As though the whole place is on fire. So, dhūmamaya. It's full of smoke. Dhūmamaya. Saturated with smoke. And so, that is one meaning of the word maya, suffix maya. What is one meaning? Saturation. When something when something saturates, then you have to use the word maya. Like dhuma maya, jala maya. That's not the meaning here. Here, vikaraha, mayat vikare. Transformation, in the sense of transformation. And so, food is there, food gets transformed into the body. And therefore, the word maya is used. The transformation maya of the food anna is called annamaya, which refers to the body in this case. So that's what he's saying here. Dehaha, ayam dehaha, this body, annabhavanaha. Annabhavana. This body is the bhavan, the bhavan comes from bhudatu, which has become, or which has come from annam, which is a product of annam. Okay, which is a product of annam. Really speaking, body is not a direct product of annam. Okay. The parents take annam, and the annam produces what is called anna rasa. In the male, it produces shukram, okay, sperm. And in the female, it produces ovum, okay, shonita, okay. Then the shonita and shukra is the one that combine to produce the body. That is the process. So it really, that is anna rasa. So from annam to anna rasa to anna rasa maya called the body. Correct? And so anna rasa maya you can say. In short, it is said annamaya. That is fine. Those are all details. So that is annabhavanaha. Annamayastu kośa. Formed of annam. And this annamaya is a kośa, he says now. Now he's saying annabhavanam. It is a product of food, all right. Then annamaya is a product of food, but I am using the word maya as a kośa. Shankara is saying kośa. Kośa means a covering, a sheet, which is meant to cover, like a blanket is meant to cover. Okay. And he says this body is a cover. Body is a cover. Yeah, body is a cover because this body covers my vision of ātmā, my vision of myself. That is why body is a cover. That is why it is called a kośa. Kośa. It's a cover. It conceals the real identity of myself from myself. Okay, that is why annamaya is called a kośa. And sheet and all is big. It's concealing. And it is not really, nothing can cover ātmā. Correct? Nothing can cover ātmā. Ātmā, it is like saying pot is covering clay. Does pot cover clay? We have to think a little bit. Pot, if pot is an object separate from clay, then pot can cover clay. Okay? Pot can cover clay. Like the kerchief is covering the pot. Two separate objects, one can cover the other. Possibility is there. Okay? But clay and pot are not two separate objects for one to cover the other. But guess what? The pot can cover the clay. You know how it can cover the clay? It can cover my understanding. Body can cover my understanding of myself. Can can suppress my understanding of myself. That suppression is called kośa. That's the way to understand this. Otherwise, if we simply translate it as sheet and sheath and all that, we will not properly understand what it is. There is no physical covering at all. It is a cognitive covering. Okay. So that is what is being said here. And I am dehaha, annabhavanaha, annamayastu kośaha. Okay. That is fine. Utpatti, etc. That's the same thing. And cha annena jīvati vinaśyati tadvihīnaḥ. Now, not only the annam has produced the body, but annena jīvati. It is sustained also by the body. Okay, production happens through parents and all. That is fine. But then what about survival? Parents took food for me. Okay, fine. But what about me now? You're supposed to have food. Only then you can survive. That's what he's saying. Annena jīvati. Annena jīvati. By that food alone, the person survives, continues to live. Jīvati. Tadvihīnaḥ vinaśyati. Tadvihīnaḥ. Annavihīnaḥ. If you take the food out, how do you know? How do you know food is required for survival? Very simple. You just withdraw food completely until a point where the body cannot take it anymore. All the pranas will stop, will become slow, and functions will begin to weaken. And so it's very obvious that annam is required. And so tadvihīnaḥ vinaśyati. Annavihīnaḥ. That means withdraw, bereft of annam. Annarahitaḥ vinaśyati. Without annam, it perishes. That means annam is the srishti, sthiti and laya karanam of this dehaha, annabhavanaha, dehaha, this body. Further, he is explaining this body. Okay, further. And how is he explaining? Tvak charma mamsa rudhira asti purisha rashihi. Rashihi. Rashi means there's a power cut here. So Rashihi means a samoha, a group of things. Body is a group of things. Okay, and body is a group of things. What group of things it is? He is giving a list. Okay, tvak charma. Tvak means outer skin. Charma means inner skin. Like we have in science also. They have this epidermis, dermis, and then I think hypodermis, something like that. We've studied long ago. So like that here also. Tvak, outer skin. Charma, inner skin. And then mamsa, flesh. Rudhira. Rudhira is this one, blood. Raktam is Rudhiram. So Rudhiram. So there is a long ago, one Tamil song used to be there. So unkannil neer vadinjal en nenjil Rudhiram kottudadi. That means if I see tears in your eyes, my heart starts to bleed blood. That is what he is saying. So Rudhiram, blood. And then Asti is bone. And then Purisha. So Mutra Purisha. So all fecal matter, all waste matter is all called Purisha. So this body is a group of all these things. Correct? So we're all, marriage ceremony is there. We're all dressed up, everything, all pakka, everything is good, great. And then all the almirah is opened up and all the ornaments have come out and it's all shining. And underneath the shining, what is there? Mamsa, Rudhira, Purisha, all these things are there. Fortunately, nobody talks about all that. We enjoy the marriage and then we come back. That's the right thing to do. That's the right thing. You don't go and say in the marriage and all that. Tvak, charma, mamsa is coming. How many tvak, charma, mamsa, rashi, his are there here? I'm going to count like that. If you start saying, they will stop inviting you, and they will wonder what pavam I did, what kind of papa I gained. Like that, they will start talking. So don't do all that. And so in Ayurveda, there is a sapta dhatuhu. So there also they talk about these kinds of things. Rasa, rakta and all they say. Anyway, so that language Shankara is using here to show that this body really is ashuddham. Ashuddham. It is savikaram. It is constantly changing. I know it is ashuddham. That is why if I have to take a shower every morning. And even that is not enough sometimes. And that is why this whole cosmetic industry thrives. Because I know I am ashuddham. I mean this body is ashuddham. I know it. Constantly washing the face, constantly doing something or the other. So many lotions are there. So from this side to that side, all different types of lotions. So many. Why? Because ashuddham. Outside also ashuddham. Inside, don't ask. That is how it is. Because after all, it's a factory. It's a factory. It's a wonderful genius of Ishvara. And it's working. So it has to constantly consume and it has to absorb the nutrition and it has to eliminate the waste. And so Shankara wants us to see that Ashuddham, because somewhere here he is going to say the last word of the shloka is Nitya Shuddhaha. It's going to come later. Okay. And so Ashuddham, keep that in mind in brackets. Okay. And so Kaivalya Upanishad also we saw that it's going to come, that Nitya Shuddhaha we saw. Hrit Pundarikam, Virajam, Vishuddham, etc. That ātmā referred to as Vishuddham. Shankara is going to say, this is the nature of the body. Okay. Ayam svayaṃ, na ayam svayaṃ bhavitumarhati nitya shuddhaha. Bhavitumarhati. Svayaṃ means ātmā. Ayam dehaha. This body cannot be qualified to be called ātmā. Svayaṃ means ātmā bhavitum na arhati. Dehaha ātmā bhavitum na arhati. Body cannot be qualified to be called ātmā. How? Because this is ashuddhaha. This is mutra purisha rashihi. Okay. And so forth. But why? What about ātmā? Ātmā is nitya shuddhaha. How do we know ātmā is nitya shuddhaha? There is no end to the number of mantras in our shastram which talks about ātmā is nitya shuddhaha. Like we saw in Kaivalya just now. Okay. We saw in Kaivalya just now. Hrit pundarikam virajam vishuddham. Okay. Ajo nitya shashvatoyam puranaha. So, puranaha. So, only the pure can be shuddham, can be puranaha, nityaha, etc. That also we saw. Other Upanishads also talk like that. And shukram, shubhram, all these words we've seen. So when Shastram says, the pramanam is only Shastram for us. I can't figure out that Atma is Shuddham. Not possible. Shastram says Atma is Shuddham. And therefore I must now infer that this body being Ashuddham cannot be me. Correct? And so I am dehaha swayam atma bhavitum na arhati. I hope the annamaya is clear for Sanskrit students. This body that I just described to you cannot qualify to be called as Atma. To be mistaken as Atma. And if it did, it must be a big mistake. Why? Because Atma is Nitya Shuddhaha. It is ever pure. Ever Asangam from the previous shloka. It is Akriyam from the previous shloka. It is Pratyaṃcam from the previous shloka. that kind of Atma, how can you take that Atma to be the body? That is the idea here in this shloka. So that annamaya kośa is being described in various ways to show that annamaya is annabhavanam, and if I take it as Atma, then because I take it as Atma, this annamaya becomes a kośa for me. Correct? For every human being, it's a kośa. Otherwise, body is body. Let body be. It's not a kośa anymore. Once I know it, then it's not a kośa anymore. It is annabhavanaha. I know deha exactly as I should know it. Good. So that's the idea from the shloka. Let's translate it.
Guruji, could you repeat? Ayam deha swayam.
Ayam dehaha svayaṃ ātmā. Ayam dehaha svayaṃ within brackets ātmā bhavitum na arhati. Na is there the first word of the fourth quarter. Bhavitum na arhati. Full stop. Kimartham? Why? Why do you say that? Why do you say body is not qualified to be called Atma? Because Atma nitya shuddhaha. That is the next sentence. Yataha Atma nitya shuddhaha. Yataha means because. Because Atma is nitya shuddhaha. It can't be the body. No chance.
Thank you.
Yeah. So let's translate this. This physical body has come into being because of food. Semicolon. It is sustained by food and dies without food. It is sustained by food and dies without food. Full stop. It is a modification of food which is indeed as though a covering for the Atma. Which is indeed as though a covering for the Atma. Full stop. Okay, look at this. This pack of epidermis, flesh, blood, bone, and refuse does not itself deserve to be the Atma. This pack of epidermis, flesh, blood, bone, and refuse does not itself deserve to be the Atma that is ever pure. That is ever pure. Okay, let me read this. This physical body has this physical body has come into being because of food. It is sustained by food and dies without food. It is a modification of food, which is indeed as though a covering for the ātmā. This pack of dermis, epidermis, flesh, blood, bone, and refuse does not itself deserve to be the ātmā that is ever pure. Okay. Om āpadāmapahārtāram दातारं सर्वसम्पदां लोकाभिरामं श्रीरामं भूयो भूयो नमाम्यहम् काले वर्षतु पर्जन्यः पृथिवी सस्यशालिनी देशोऽयं क्षोभरहितः सज्जनाः सन्तु निर्भयाः ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः हरिः ॐ श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः हरिः ॐ